most time. Okay. I'll call this meeting to order. The Finance Committee, Tuesday, 6th July, 2021, 3 p.m. Do we have any committee or public comments? Hearing and seeing none, move on to item number 3, fraud risk discussion.
Okay, Ty is on vacation this week, so you're stuck with me. I'll do my best to fill in for him. We have no fraud risk to report. So moving on to financial statements. Okay, of course, June is the last month of the fiscal year, so financial numbers are preliminary. But I can give you estimates for revenues. $1,674,843. That's $553,493 better than budget. Expenses are estimated to be $1,076,965, and that is $30,184 below budget. Estimated year-to-date revenues as of the end of the year, June 30th, $14,826,399, and expenses $13,810,368. So revenues exceed expenditures by $1,016,030, which exceeds budget by $1,843,421. And you see the spreadsheet. It should be in your packet. Of course, the revenues, total water sales, GSA fees, those are all pending accruals, year-end accruals. The capital contributions, you can see the big variance there. That's, of course, due to the increased number of meter sets, new services, and also the disaster reimbursements from CalOSHA, federal. That would be the Federal Care Act, I think, the federal.
Cal OES?
And Cal OES, yeah. Legal, insurance, and PERS account for the variance on general and administration of $483,000. And the other one, GSA fees, almost $1.6 million. That again is pending the accrual for a final number on that.
When does that typically get wrapped up?
Make sure you guys are using your microphones.
Should be the end of July.
Don,
Yes,
just so you're aware, Jim has joined us via telephone.
okay,
It should be on now.
okay. Welcome, Jim.
Oh, Jim just stepped away. This is Brittany.
Okay,
He'll
Brit-
be right.
welcome, Brittany.
Hi.
Okay,
Here he is. One moment.
okay. Got a couple other things to go over before we get to that item for Jim. Of course, you see.
I'm here, Don. I
Okay.
apologize. I was trying to transfer into the lunch library.
That's okay. You see the graphs that we have in the report always. Just make a note, the one with the roads expenses for the month of June is off the charts. We've corrected that, but didn't put it in the packet. As I said, it was $1,674,000, and the top of the range is $1,600,000. So anyway, you got that graph, and then the June revenues and expenses for the fiscal year comparing to past years, and the other graphs which are always in the report.
Don, on what are the big items that we expect to change due to the accrual issue?
I don't know for sure. I would imagine water sales probably is one. I don't expect GSA fees will change much. There will be an adjustment for GSA fees because, that'll be at the end of the year because we're basing it on 2020 production. And so far, we've actually, the first few months since we've been paying that fee, we've been paying more. We've been pumping more than last year, which is kind of against what you would think with the fees being in place. But we're entering the the high pumping season right now, so perhaps I was just telling Director Boyd, we don't have the numbers for June yet, but it'll be interesting to see if there has been a lower amount pumped this year compared to last year, just because of the impact of the fees. Of course, it's been a hotter June. This is probably one of the hotter Junes we've had,
Yes.
so,
We've got quite a few more customers now than
right,
last year as well.
right.
So do we expect the water sales to come up to where our original budget was? Approximately 600,000 higher?
I don't know at this point. I'll have to get back to you.
Okay. Well, but in any event, we've only basically, I mean, this is an estimate of the accrual, right?
Right,
And so we've really only got numbers for probably the first half of June, right? And then the other half will come in early July. So we would expect overall that bottom net revenue increase to be a couple, $400,000 or $500,000 higher anyway.
possibly.
Okay, and is there any, other than in the revenue area, you saying that the GSA thing is going to change around? I mean, the fees,
Well, it won't change for this fiscal year, probably. The correction will be at the end of the year, at the end of the calendar year.
okay. Okay, so that's not going to change. So the biggest item in terms of us really understanding the actual accrual is going to be in the income, that is the
Water sales.
water sales.
Water
So-
sales.
So according to my rough numbers, we're going to be, in terms of the net position, about $1.5 million in the good. Is that, okay? And then what does it mean to us in terms of our reserve when you take into account the expenditures and the cash-funded capital? Is there anything we can say at this point in time about what we would expect the audit to show in terms of our unrestricted reserve?
No, I think probably what we can do is answer those questions at the board meeting Monday night, if you've got those.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
He'll be here, Ty
Yeah.
will?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, what's next? The delinquent accounts will be next. We've actually, surprisingly, we sent the letters out. We had 217 accounts that would normally be locked off in May. So we sent a letter to those accounts advising them that the governor intends to rescind that executive order 4220 September 30th, letting them know that, you know, they're on borrowed time, if you will. And surprisingly, we went up from 217 to 252. So we now have more delinquent accounts. That represents, of course, an increase of 35 and an increase of $26,051.44 over the past due amount in May.
Is there any pattern in the delinquents, the new delinquents? Are they low-end users? Are they?
I don't know. We haven't won a report for the detail on that, but you know, hasn't been an increase in people coming in and making payment arrangements. That's I would hope with you know, with that letter going out, that people would realize that they have only a couple more months of this, and then something they have to make. They're gonna have to, you know, square their accounts. So.
Well, they can sign up for a contract, right?
A payment
have
arrangement,
Payment
yeah,
contract,
right.
and they haven't been doing that either?
They haven't been doing that, no. There's been a few come in, but not what we would expect to response to those letters.
Yeah. Maybe as September comes closer, they might.
Well, let's hope.
Hey, Don, this is Jim Worth. May I just add a couple comments real quick on this issue?
Sure.
So legal has looked at whether or not, at the board's request, at the options with respect to the use of flow restrictors as an option, as opposed to terminating somebody's service, which apparently will be an option again in September. We've done some preliminary work, and there's not a lot of precedent on there, but we believe that it does allow the water district the authority to, under defined circumstances, put on a flow restrictor on a delinquent account. So we've already reached that conclusion, and we are working on a draft, very rough draft policy on when the district might consider using a flow restrictor, and we would hope to have that ready for at least a discussion at the board workshop on August 5th. That's all I have at this time, but I would be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Move on to the next topic.
Yeah, please, next topic.
Okay, next topic is the future rate study objectives. That's Jim, our legal counsel, is joined for that discussion. And Jim, did you want to kick it off?
Stan, how do you want to? Do you want me to kick it off or you? Okay, so as I understood it, this really kind of evolved out of an issue about will serve letters earlier on, but where it is right now, where I understand it, where I am going in this direction, is that trying to right now the current rate study, the board could vote to enact a rate study July of this year and July of next year. So the current rate study is still effective for another 2 years approximately. The question is whether the district should consider looking at another rate study in light of the changed circumstances that have occurred, including SGMA fees, groundwater adjudication, as well as other issues as well. I spoke with Mark Hildebrand, who was the primary consultant for the last rate study, and he's willing to work with the district to, I think the place to start would be to authorize staff to work with Mr. Hildebrand, who's very familiar with the district, to help get an understanding of maybe options that are available with respect to SGMA-related fees and other new costs that might come across the district. And I've done that, and he's willing to do so. That's my opening statement there. Dan, you're very hard to hear.
Because I didn't have my microphone on.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. Well, I was trying to cut you out of the conversation. Sorry about that. I have three primary thoughts, and Jim did address them more or less. I think first and foremost, we need to bring in enough revenue to pay all of our expenses. And I think one of the things we really need to understand is that we have a lot of new costs coming in that were never considered originally in any of our rate studies. And some of those could be significant. Well, no point in going into that right now, but it is important to understand that we have new costs. At the same time, our average unit cost of water is more than doubled due to the GA fees. And so therefore, our water pumping is going to go down, and our revenue is going to go down. So with our costs going up, revenue going down, I see this being a major issue, and it's an accident waiting to happen. So my feeling is we need to do something, and I think we can go on with Mr. Hildebrand. I think probably understands what those issues are. We also need to comply with the new state laws, SB 606 and AB 1668. Our current commodity fees encourage water use, and that is just diametrically opposed to what the new laws are pushing. I think we need to take that into consideration and make sure that we restructure our commodity rates so that we encourage conservation. And third, Jim did mention is that the signatories fees are all being treated the same at this point in time. My reading of the law indicates that the basis for the fees are different, so therefore the way we pass them on should be different. And I think, again, Jim, working with Mr. Hildebrand, Mark ought to be able to get some definition to what we really ought to be doing in that area. So those are my three primary thoughts. And we want to make sure that that gets incorporated in any discussion that goes on. Thank you.
So what's our next step? Bring this topic up with the,
Well, I think we need to authorize
Would be a recommendation.
Jim
of
and the
this co-
staff to continue to talk. I mean, they've already started discussions, is my understanding. So we just need to continue those discussions and make sure they come back to us in a reasonable time, giving us what the issues and options as they see it.
So Jim had a preliminary discussion with Mark Hildebrand, as he said, but it would be this committee making a recommendation to the board Monday night to continue those
Yeah.
discussions.
And I think it's appropriate, and I'll
Okay.
if it's appropriate to have a motion, I'll move that we do that.
Okay.
okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jim. Do we have other questions for Jim before he disconnects?
Can I turn my mic off?
You don't have to ask Jim that.
Oh,
Stan, if you just cut me loose, you won't even have to do that.
I think you were happy, or it's up to you if you'd like to sit in and listen to the rest of this meeting, Jim.
Oh, I should only be here if you need me. I'm
Okay.
good to go. You guys have a good night.
I think we're good.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
Item 7, the accounts payable disbursements, the prepaid, we have a total of $470,278.59. You can see on the first page, IWB Groundwater Authority, $406,511. That is the combination of the replenishment fee and the pumping fee. So that's what that is. And then, let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, it does. Some of the other big ones. We've got Aqua JPIA, which is, of course, insurance, $76,991. NG Services, $99,902.95. That's for the solar contract for 1235. $93,362.62. Ferguson Waterworks, that's generally pipes and fittings.
That's meters.
Hmm?
Meter base.
Oh, yeah, that's right, for the meter replacements, the outdated meter replacements. My bad. Krieger and Stewart, $91,090.45. Of course, they're working on the urban water management plan, the water shortage contingency plan, well 35. The roofing, that's a combination of many things. For the water storage contingency plan and the general plan, or urban water management plan? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, but they're not due until 2021. They're called 2020, but they're not due until 2021,
Oh, good.
so.
They're going to the board next month, right? In
Yeah,
August?
the August board meeting is when we'll be having the public hearing for the urban water management plan, water storage contingency plan. But we received a draft of the water storage contingency plan and provided comments. They revised it, sent it back. I compared the two documents. The changes that we recommended have been made. So that should be close to being finalized. I know the water management, I wasn't here, you requested having those available for water management next month.
Okay, I guess what I want to make sure is that we don't run into a situation like the GA did, is they sent the year, annual report in a month before it was given to the board. We need to make, and
Hold on,
we need to.
there has to be a public hearing on these, so the board will definitely get them
Okay,
before they're
well, we need the
submitted.
board to see it, and we need the public to see it, in time that they can actually read it and comprehend it and do whatever.
Okay. Jim is off the phone, but McMurtry, Hartsock, and Worth, $31,827. He probably got off the phone intentionally. And I did receive the invoice for June today, and it's less. I think it totaled about 29,000, so a little bit less.
Okay, what about Murphy and?
That'll be, I think that's on the next one, Director
It is.
Torra.
Okay,
So, yeah, these are the prepaid. If we go to the current, I think you'll find it's on that one. Have so many papers here.
These are two big ones, Aqualogic and Murphy and Everett's.
I got so many papers here. Okay, I got it, yeah. Aqualogic, $99,716.94. That's towards the brackish water study, reimbursing Aqualogic. That's from DWR reimbursements. Murphy and Everett's, as you saw, $62,563.43. And other than that, Santa Fe Windworks is pipe and fittings, that sort of thing, so that's $15,609. So unless there's any questions, we need a motion to
Recommendation.
recommendation.
I would recommend that we recommend approval by the board on the next board meeting
Okay.
of the finance report.
You can
Sure.
agree.
You can agree?
I'll second.
Okay.
We need a third.
Okay.
I agree too.
Future agenda.
I was gonna say, as we were talking, you said additional data regarding water sales and things might be available for next board meeting.
Yeah, I'll make sure that we have the responses of what changes, significant changes do we expect as a result of the accruals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, both in terms of the net position and the reserve. I mean, those are two things that the audit always brings. Those are the only two important things, bottom line, is my understanding. And the year looks good. I mean, from what I've been able to figure out with my hand scratching is reasonably successful year.
Everything considered, I think we're in a very good position. Again, considering everything we had to contend with, the additional fees and costs and picking up some of these repairs off that aren't being reimbursed.
Yeah.
Earthquake,
You know.
et cetera.
Well, you know, ended up last year, we had a bit of an anomaly in that we lost $1 million in net position because of something that showed up in the end, and I don't remember exactly what, Ty, had something to do
Was
with
that
retirement
I was
fees.
just saying, it's due to the actuarial study, I
Actuarial.
think it was, that, yeah, there was something to do with retirements, and yeah, that's what that hit was.
Yeah. Anyway, ask him to put some thought to it and come back with, for just those two things,
Okay,
And recognizing though that sometimes those accruals aren't complete till closer to the end of the month, so we may not actually.
oh, yeah, well,
Have
we
this until
won't have
August.
the actual numbers for
You just
another
wanted to-
month or maybe two, but in terms of, you know, he's the one that keeps track of these things, and he knows what happened last year and the year before last, so he should be able to give us a pretty good idea of where these numbers are gonna put us relative to when the
Right.
audit comes out.
Right,
Obviously, it's still an estimate.
yes.
Sure. Okay, item number 8, future items, agenda items.
I just want to make sure that we keep track of the work that's going on regarding the new rate study. If there's something to report, if there isn't, fine, but I don't want it to keep slipping, month after month after month. And I think the key issues are pretty well known, quite frankly.
And if we're going to be making a nomination next week to the board, that'll help solidify the commitment from the group to push
Oh.
forward on it.
Oh, I don't know. I think we can put anything on the agenda we want to. Now, whether the staff responds is a different issue, but we can put it on the,
They always
I
respond.
think we can probably leave item 6 on the agenda and then cover your futures. We can cover it,
oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure, that's fine.
okay?
Sounds good.
It'll just be an update.
And,
pretty much.
and the thing is, if you run into a, what the hell do they mean type thing, get back to us. Okay, and that's my only,
Okay, well, sounds like we're on item 9. Adjournment at 3:26. Thanks for all your help, guys.